Baby dolls, if capitulations could speak, this is what they would sound like. This guy sold the bottom. He put 2 million into Hex. He turned it into 10 million. He bought just because Elon Musk did a vague tweak that he thought was hexadecimals. He did not sell the top. 2 mil becomes 10 mil. He becomes a long-term diamond hodler. It comes all the way back. Now it's worth $500,000, so it's a $1.5 million loss. He sells the bottom. The market completely absorbs him. And then we rally. Plus 67%. So if you do the maths, from his sell point, he gets 50% less coins now, which is absolutely devastating. It's not too late, but it's devastating because he literally sold the bottom. So this guy is now fighting Hex, Richard Hart, everything. But this is what the language is of somebody who literally realizes the loss. This is an investor's like fallacy. It's a psychological phenomenon that we do. When we let go of something, we now rationalize it in our head that it's trash. I hate it. I shouldn't have been in it anyway. You know, they'll say, oh, I don't care. I was happy to take the loss. There's a lot of BS. Happens in the stock market too. All right. So what do we learn from this? Markets are always filled with people who have an extreme amount of emotion. And if it's not me or you selling, it's someone else. And it's also, if when me and you aren't buying, it's going to be someone else. It's the same emotion, you just change the person. So when we participate in the markets, man, you just got to think to yourself, I just don't want to be, on the bell curve, your goal is every single cycle, you never want to be the weakest bottom, you never want to be the weakest top. You don't want that. A whole goal in investing, I know this looks like a curve, the goal is to always be in the middle. All right. But, you know, as time goes on, if you play more and more cycles of the stock market and crypto and everything, you know, you roll the dice. So yes, we didn't sell the bottom. We're in the middle this time. But what about in the next cycle? Can you guarantee me you're not going to sell? And then the one after that and the one after that. Statistically, most people don't make it. That's why they say it's better off to be in the S&P 500 index, just because, you know, you can kind of get it locked away. You can maybe talk to someone who has access to it, like a broker or whatever, all right? But in crypto, it's the wild, wild west. So we get sick gains. You know, these gains are absolutely sick, right? You're not going to get your 100x. Like, look what Hex did after the zombie virus, right? Where is March 2020? You can't even have it here. March 2020. Oh my God. Wow. This is the market cap, by the way. But I mean, like, look, man, just you have this 40, 50x of rallies. You know, if we go back to the top, 15x. Name me another coin that's going to be 15x. This is your margin of safety. So I know this sounds crazy in crypto. So in the stocks, you know, they call margin of safety where you buy a company and your earnings, and if you sell the company, you're protected because you're like, well, you know, residual value, I have a warehouse, I have all this other brand stuff. We can actually sell it in the worst case and get something for our money, and that's why the price is cheap on the stocks. There's none of that in crypto. It's all imaginary. Unfortunately, all you can do is go, oh wow, we're below the all-time high. You know, I don't like saying that, but that's actually the margin of safety for crypto, right? So you have such a great opportunity here. You have Pulse Chain coming up. You've got the narrative, right? You have a good margin of safety. You get like a 15x coming back to the top, and everyone's going to get shaky up there. Man, like, even if we go to Bitcoin, all right, let's look at Bitcoin. What are you going to get? What are you going to get to go back to the high from here today? You know, 2 to 3x, man. You know, so, you know, what do you do? So, do we DCA or do we buy? That's the, you know, that's the lesson here. Do we just DCA or do we buy? You never know the answer, man. You never know the answer. So effectively, when people ask this question, you got to get into their heads. When people ask this question, what they actually mean is, I want to go hard now, but I'm scared. And I'm scared that a red candle is going to come. Give me confidence to go hard. That's actually what people want. They want a handout of currency, of conviction currency. That's what they want to see. That's what they want to hear. And you can't give you that, man. I can't give you that. You know, people have lost so much sight. This is why I think we have a good case for the bottom. It's because people have lost so much sight that 21,000 is still an insanely cheap price. In my opinion, right, where Bitcoin is here from 31,000, anything under 31,000 is insanely cheap don't get me wrong, for every single crypto. So, where this capitulation candle is, same thing for Ethereum, Chainlink, Hex, any coin, okay? I'm going to have a look at, let's look at Hex's real price here. I want to go back to that June capitulation. Basically here, yeah, wow, man. So this is it, May and June. Maybe we'll do it from here. Anything under 8 cents is absolutely racist. It should not be down here. This is a crime against humanity. This is how you should be seeing this. And look, I want to tell you from personal experience, whenever I speak like this, I'm always right. Always right. I can't tell you the time frame, but I'll tell you I'm always right. What I'm doing is, in my mind, I am going through so many flashbacks in the past 10 years where I've come across long-term stuff, short-term day trading, within intra-hour stuff, right? Short-term day trading, bonds, equity, currency, everything. Whenever I've seen moves where I look at it and I go, man, this should not be here, right? I'm not kidding, man. I come back in a few months, maybe it comes back in a week if it's day trading. But later on, I come back and I look and I'm like, oh my God, wow. So my feeling was right. This thing shouldn't be down here. And you never know, how long it's going to take. That's the key question. You never know how long it's going to take. But if you're willing to stay in it forever, it doesn't take forever. I promise you that. And whenever it comes back, it's with a vengeance. And I'm just letting you know, my personal experience, right? So I'll change this to a weekly chart. Whenever I've seen something like this, I'm like, this should not be here. What the hell is going on? Whenever you're just hearing it and feeling it everywhere, it means once the zone finally gets cleared, it ain't coming back. Not even close to coming back. So I don't know if this happens, right? I don't know if that happens, We'll just do this big up and down. Don't know what's going to happen. But once this zone finally gets cleared, it's literally game over. Game over. When it finally does clear this bad poisonous area. And this has gone through many different asset classes, right? So when you see Bitcoin, just think Bitcoin, crypto, everything. That was the capitulation. That's what it was, right? It wasn't FTX, okay? That was not the capitulation. The capitulation was the actual destruction of Luna, UST, Celsius. $105 billion wipeout. A stable coin went to zero. That was the most devastating thing at all. People parked $60 billion, $40 to $60 billion in something they deemed to be super, super safe. And the trust got broken. And don't forget that we are still in capitulation zone. So if we, for Hex, right, under 9.6 cents, whatever it is around here, let's just say 10 cents, right? Anything under 10 cents, you are buying Celsius and Luna capitulation. I want you to think that. Cheap, right? Cheap. You're going to write this. Don't ever forget this. I don't care that it's gone up plus 50% in Australia. Under 10 cent Hex is cheap, right? Don't forget this. Never forget this. Just because, so what's going to happen is you want to know, oh, but I want to buy it under a penny. And what's going to happen is you're going to see it do oh my God, it's up, to 5 cents. And what someone's going to do is they're going to do this little scam trick where they go, wow, we're up plus 180%. You're an idiot if you buy here. Don't listen to them. Do not listen to them. The Earth's going to keep spinning around the sun. The calendar years are going to tick by. And eventually, we're going to move into 2024. It's going to be the Bitcoin halvening. People are going to forget. People are going to get sick of selling, which they already are. They're going to start buying. And you're going to remember everything I said at the start is true. They keep printing fiat money. US dollars keeps getting printed. In a bad scenario. In the event of destruction of the economy. So, if economy goes good, people have confidence, right, they will degen again. All right. If economy goes bad, they will turn on the money printers. Don't forget that, man. It's like it's both cheap. Prices are so cheap. It's telling you you gotta be still accumulating this capitulation. Why I like using hex is the numbers are so small. It doesn't impact you psychologically. Ooh, buying under 10 cents. You can live with that, right? Do you want to buy Bitcoin? Like, if you look at this, man. Are you really want to be, like, if you buy Bitcoin at 30K, are you really going to believe me if I tell you it's super cheap? Even though I know it is. Most likely not. I know. Think of the next 10 million people coming into crypto. Are they going to be buying a $30,000 Bitcoin? Or are they going to be buying, a 9 cent hex? Just think about it in your mind, right? We know the answer. It's not decentralization at all costs. So just remember, under 10 cent hex is cheap. And all your favorite crypto as well. Until Bitcoin clears that 31K, you're still in the mega cheap zone. Until next time, friends.